Okay. Hi, Mabel. Thank you for spending some time with us today. We like to do these, as I mentioned, sort of informal conversations so that we can like give a little bit of a behind the scenes look for our community. They really enjoy knowing more about each artist and sort of like what inspires them and all sorts of stuff. So I thought we'd take a few moments and be able to chat. And the great thing about our chat is, well, I should say great. I should say it was but a challenge, right? Is you're in Australia right now, and we had to find a time and a day and a place that it would all come together. So, welcome.
Thank you, Carrie, and thank you for inviting me for this chat. It's always really great to talk to a company art director, which doesn't really happen very often. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to have a chat.
Oh, you're welcome. We love it. And for me, it's actually been great because I get to know everyone a little bit better. And I actually sometimes I'm like, I think I should have other people do it. They'd be so much better at it than me. But it's just it's an informal thing. And I think it's kind of interesting is that I we get so many comments about your products and your art that we have put onto our products because it's very like sort of iconic, or you have a way of illustrating certain topics or certain things that I think really speaks to a lot of people. So I know we've had this conversation somewhat, but I think it's great to kind of share it with everyone. If you're going to give a little bit of background about, I think everyone always is really interesting, like what made you become an artist? How did you get to this point? A little bit of that would be great.
Okay. So I actually grew up in Malaysia. I didn't grow up in Australia. I moved here in my 20s. Um, because I wanted to have an adventure. But when I was a kid, I've always loved to draw. And I feel like that is something that never left. I was just always very, I won't say passionate, but it was something I always have to be creative in my hands.
Mm.
Whether it's like, making something with clay or drawing or just being messy in general in my hands or cooking and baking. I mean, that's my other passion. So I just love being creative. I think for the longest time, my parents, being very typical traditional Asian parents, always said no to having a creative career. So I found ways around it. So if at first I was in advertising and then and doing ads for TV commercials and radios. I did dabbling on copywriting here and there. And then I became a writer for a publishing company. And then when I moved to Australia, I kind of decided that, well, let's reinvent myself. Let's try and do something that I've always wanted to do. And so I kind of fell into surface design. Um, and I didn't know it was even a thing because I've never heard of it before. I've heard of graphic design. Um, until I did a course. I did the immersion course and I fell in love with the whole process. I really felt that this was what I was meant to do on earth. And that's how I kind of fell into surface design.
That's, I think it's always great, obviously, to follow your passion. And um, I think it is hard, I think, for prior generations to really understand how the arts and things in art can monetize and you can still have a life and a career. So I also understand that. I tell people I had wanted to be an art history major in college. I just really love those courses. And I was told, absolutely not. What kind of job would you ever get? So I hear you. So are you, I believe you kind of are a part of a group, right, of other artists, and you sort of now pass on sort of that kind of knowledge to others, right? Through your group. Do you want to
Yeah.
share a
So
little bit about that?
yeah, sure. I think one of the best things about I one thing I feel that really strongly about is this is probably the best time to be an artist. I don't think back in our parents' time, you're right. They probably were afraid for us because it wasn't a thing back then. I think it was just something that never even took place. But look at the world right now. Content creation is a job. There's so many new jobs that didn't exist 20 years ago. So I decided that one of the things that I really want to do was to form communities that other women who are new in this and can get together and learn about surface design. And just love it so much that I share whatever that I do, like the processes, the nuances, the um, approaching companies, because all that is really overwhelming and it gets quite intimidating at times. Not every art director is as lovely as you are, Carrie. They don't take the time to know the artists. So it's just one of those things that I like to handhold people along the way and do it together. So I do a bit of teaching here and there, a bit of guiding. I feel like it's a bit of a balance because sometimes right now I don't teach as much because I'm so busy with my creative projects, and I don't even have time for social media, which is something that I actually truly enjoy. I know a lot of people don't enjoy social media, but I'm now deep in the process of um, creating, and and it's an ebb and flow. Right now I'm creating, and then when I have more time I go back to teaching, and then when I have more time I do more social media and YouTube. So it's a juggle, but yes, it's a lot of fun.
Well, and I think that we have kind of like evolved our program, as everyone does, right? And we got a really cool video from you for your unboxing that I was like, this is somebody who feels very comfortable with doing video and editing video and putting all that in, which is, I'm, when you're artistic, you have to be able to promote yourself, which it can be a real struggle for a lot of
Mm,
people because those two personalities don't always go hand in hand. But I don't always see that like the creative journey, like goes that the whole way through like the social media end. So I'm not surprised you saying how much that you like to do the social media piece or the video piece of things.
yeah, like I recently got into YouTube because I actually really love the process of taking videos of what I do and editing the video and making it look cinematic. I actually really like that. It takes a lot of my time and I'm really busy as it is. But I really do enjoy doing that. So I think I think I enjoy the most is watching a video and then getting sucked in by the story of it and how it
Hmm.
reveals, and everything to me has a story. And I feel that that is what I do with my art as well. When I create art, I always try and tell a story behind it. Um, and when I create a collection, I try to like make it a cohesive story to tell someone. So when they see something like, oh, it's like a wonder and it's a discovery. And I think that's a little bit of my copywriting and writing background when I was working in my 20s coming through. But yeah, everything to me is a journey and a story, and we make life fun that way.
Yeah, no, I can completely see that. And I do think that that is, I don't think that like other artists don't have a background of what they're doing, but they're probably not, I think our past experiences always kind of give us like something more to what we're doing in the future. And other people might have had different experiences, right, in the past. So I can see how you would say that about tying in and making sort of a story about your art because we were just doing a photo shoot yesterday and
Mm.
we had the canine caper uh, uh, drying mat out on the floor with my dogs, for a shot because we also use it for dog bowls. Like it's a mat
Mm.
that you can use underneath dog bowls and stuff. And I'm looking at it again, and it's like it is kind of like you're looking at all of them, and they all kind of have like different little stories you could tell about each dog in the print, because it's not that I don't spend enough time with your work. I do, but when it's on the product and you're using it like the customer, I was kind of having a little fun with it,
It
because I
is.
was really kind of getting like, just sort of thinking about like, oh, well, that one's kind of cute. I wonder what that one's thinking about that.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
And I have to say, I love your drying mats, like absolutely obsessed with it. So I was dog sitting for a friend and I used that as a mat for their food. And it's like, it's so great because that dog was such a sloppy drinker. And so
Yes.
now I use it for my cat. And I'm like, oh, I need to make a cat one.
Well, no,
I need to have
we'll
a
have to,
carriage.
what, next time we send you a box, remind me because we do have the cat mail one on a dry mat.
Yes.
So you can use that one
Fantastic.
for your cat for sure. For sure.
Yay.
Yeah. It is really fun. And I think that like, um, like I told you before, and I tell like all the artists, we do spend time like looking at what we need in our line, and so that everyone sort of has their lane and their story to tell, and all of that. And I think people have really, reacted fondly to your work and what the story you are able to tell within your art and your work. So that's been really fun for us. So I also have asked some of the staff in our office for some questions because I feel like I'm sure everyone's tired of my questions. So Valentina, who does our customer service, wanted to know like what was your first design and what was your favorite project slash collab other than ours to work on.
Oh, you guys are great. Like seriously, so
I
easy to
think those
work
are great
with.
questions, right?
Yeah. Oh, this is really hard. Like my first design was terrible. I think, I have to be honest. Like I would love to say I came out the womb with a paintbrush and was, Picasso, but I wasn't. So like everyone else, I had to start at the very bottom. And my drawing, I when I started, my son was only about 3. And
Mhm,
so that was when I was practicing every day around his nap time. And thank goodness he had long naps. So I would take 3 hours practice. And they were bad. If anyone want to scroll through my Instagram, like through my past posts, they were not nice. But I always tell my artist community, you got to get the ugly out. You've got to, work at it and refine and refine. And one of the first artwork that was licensed um, was actually with a company called Rice, and they are still my dream company to work with because I used to actually live in Sweden with my husband. I wouldn't say live. I was there for 6 months. We were
mhm,
there for a project that he was working on. He was with Ericsson, which is a Swedish company, and I had nothing to do and would walk into the home decor stores, which I love.
mhm,
I love home decor stores, stationery stores, fabric, that kind of stuff that I am doing now. And rice products was everywhere. And I'm like, this is heaven. This is beautiful. If I die in here right now, I'd be happy.
mhm,
Um, and so they were my first company that I pitched to, and they actually made artwork from one of my goldfish designs. And I wish I had that to show you. My son is actually using that for his meals. They come up with plates and cups. Is adorable.
aw,
And I forgot what was the other question. Oh, the other project that I'm passionate with, rice. So I to this day I feel like they are the most fun company to work with. Yeah, is and the art directors also really amazing, very friendly, very down to earth, and it's so lovely to work with them.
yeah, that's awesome. And so is it like on kids product, or was it like more adult driven, or do you do both for them?
Both. So they have a kids range, but I think one of the best thing about rice is they bring out the kid in adults. And
Mm,
so, it appeals to a lot of adults going, oh my goodness, it's so cute and colorful. And you
mhm.
just you just have this thing about I just have this thing about their product. So yeah, they do both.
Okay. Okay. So that's awesome. The You mentioned that you like to cook and bake, and Caroline was saying, do you like to bake, and like what else do you like to do in your free time? I think she
I
noticed
think
like from your some of your art, like it felt like you were a little bit more into the baking, and so
Yeah. So I am a bit of a sourdough baker because that's my therapy. I don't eat bread as much. This is for my husband and my son, but I find it very therapeutical to just get into the sourdough and fold it and the whole process. And it's frustrating when it doesn't work out, but I just love it. So I do a lot of baking, bread baking. I give it mostly away, and I am going to bake after this.
yeah.
Today is my sourdough day.
There you go. You have a day for it. That's smart. You gotta have a routine. I love it.
Yeah.
Um, and then Nicole was asking, besides Australia, are there other parts of the world that inspire your designs?
Uh Yeah, actually, although I come from Asia, I'm not particularly drawn to Asian style design. So I've actually traveled to a lot of countries. So because of my husband's job, we have been to Japan and Sweden and where else have we lived? So quite a few countries. And
Mhm.
me being from Malaysia, but I would say Italy was one of my favorite because I love to eat. And so I love pasta and bread, and I can't have that too much now. But I just love the art behind it. I'm actually watching Stanley Tucci's show about Italy right now, and it's
Oh,
beautiful and delicious. And yeah, so I would
it's very
feel that.
inspirational because I feel like it kind of makes it feel like you could do it. Like I'm always like, I could do that, right? Like, and then you're like
Yeah,
trying to do it, and you're like, maybe not. So yeah, I love when short like the show actually shows like the countryside and like
yeah,
how these things sort of came about. I'm a big fan of that show. So
and the architecture and
mhm.
everything beautiful about the everything. Like I just love the any travel food program. I'm there.
That's awesome. So back to Caroline's question though, she did say, "What else do you like to do in your free time?" So is it just baking? Is that your main one on your free time, or do you like to do other something else?
Yeah, so I always like to do a bit of gardening when it comes to spring. And one of my favorite things to grow is dahlias, because it's just so dramatic when they bloom. So gardening now is not such a good time as winter, so this is where it's dormant and I just relax. But once it comes to the spring, I start getting quite obsessed with buying plants, and my husband is like, don't we have enough plants?
Yeah.
But it's never enough. So we have a lot of indoor plants. So the other thing I love to do is garden. So gardening, baking. I don't read as much these days. My attention span is very short thanks to social media. But yeah.
It is hard. You know what? I have to say, I joined a book club a couple years ago for that reason to like kind of
Mm,
like get myself back into like focusing in because it is a really it's become more of a skill that uh,
mm,
you don't want to lose, right? So yeah, it's tough. But I did read. Oh, I think it was called Everything You Want You Can Find in the Library, and it was a Japanese author. Do you know
okay.
about that? Have you read that book?
No, but it's got a
It's
great title.
short. It's a short little book. I think it's got like each chapter is like a different person, and it's a quick read, I would say, and it's kind of a nice like feel good. moment. Like,
I love
and if
that.
you like
Yeah.
Japan, I think you would kind of, it's just definitely has a little bit more of their cultural feel to it. So, and it's lighthearted. So,
Good. I love that. Yeah.
it's the only recommendation I have right now because the ones I read are very few and far between. And I like the fact that it was shorter. Thank God. But there's just not enough time, in the day for people
Exactly.
to. And
Exactly.
you'd like to be able, and when you have children your child's age, and I'm lucky my children are a little older now, much more independent, and but still you want to spend time with them and you want to enjoy what
Yeah.
you have. So
Exactly.
yeah, no, totally understand. um I'm trying to think of uh sorry, I'm going looking around. Okay, still getting used to this format. So yeah, I think in general, like, we really appreciate like kind of your fresh take on colors and icons, and you came through with my Mahjong requests. That's something else I've been trying to do a little bit, but then it becomes a little bit harder when there's two people can't come, and then there you gotta like the fact you need four becomes a little challenging at different times, but it's very big here in the US right now.
I know, and I have to thank you for actually like to actually take the initiative to suggest a theme for me, because I love following American themes. That's one of the things that I really enjoy, just looking through what is trending at the moment and then taking inspiration and drawing from there. So it's not as big in Australia, and mahjong, American mahjong, it's so different from the Asian mahjong. And that's fine, because apparently there's 42 versions of mahjong. And I never knew that. So I went down this rabbit hole of researching about American mahjong. And I'm like, this is amazing. And because of that, I started playing more mahjong, because
Yeah.
I'm teaching my son mahjong now. And he loves it. And so it's just been such a, like, you never know, like, it was just a tiny suggestion from you, and then it led to such a big thing. And now I'm currently on several mahjong projects. This is crazy.
Well, and you know what? It is crazy because I think it started probably 5, 6 years ago when we started going to the Atlanta trade show. There was a company that I noticed, and lovely people that were touting Mahjong and Mahjong groups and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, I really never played that, or, whatever. And over the years, you see it getting bigger and bigger, because it
Mm.
kind of started in the South and the Southeast in the United States, and we're up north, we're, outside of Chicago. And so once I got, sort of interested in playing, my middle son, who I will say, him and his friends are very quirky. They're hilarious. They like watch Bollywood films and do all sorts of stuff. He's like, "Oh, well, I know how to play Chinese mahjong and Japanese mahjong. I can teach you."
Oh,
And I was like,
wow.
"Wait, you guys are playing mahjong all these years? I didn't know about it." He's like, "Oh yeah, my friend's got a set, and we've been playing this, that, and the other." And I was like, "How
It's
funny!" Like,
amazing.
it is like, again, another fun skill. I wouldn't say I'm good at it by any means, but I do enjoy it when I have the opportunity, and I do think it gives like people a reason. Sometimes you need that like reason to get together, and just kind of
Yeah,
have a little downtime. So that's been
exactly.
kind of fun for us. Um,
Mm.
well, I appreciate all your time today, and I know that I had to reschedule a few times, so I really appreciate your flexibility. And we have some gorgeous new patterns from you, and we will be uh, putting them out in the emails and the social media and all the things that we do. We have the new round of trade shows that start here in the US, starting early in August, or I'm sorry, in June, because of FIFA, because of the World Cup.
Mm.
Um,
Right.
so it's kind of thrown a little things out for us as far as like everything was really raced up. And so we're super excited, and I really appreciate all the work that you've done.
Oh, thank you so much for for being the easiest company to work with. Seriously, you guys are amazing. And thank you for, loving my art and giving them a place to live on actual products because, I just love seeing them on your stuff.
Thank you. And it's really fun for us. I think it's really been, kind of a fun way to kind of get some novelty things in. We weren't big into like the sayings usually. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not like but we wanted to get something that felt a little more lighthearted and kind of
Mhm.
cute and fun and in a way that's different from other things that we've done. So have a good day and a good winter when we're at the end of our day in the middle of then the start of summer here. So we're like definitely on opposite sides of the world right now. But
Exactly. Yeah.
appreciate it and best of luck with that sourdough.
Thank you. Fingers crossed. All right. Bye, Carrie. Have a great day.
Okay. Bye bye. Thanks, Mabel.